I. Aye, Captain. I may have made a rather significant sacrifice in order to be in order to speak about these things. I lost something that is rather significant. It may simply have been misplaced, but my suspicion is that it is gone, that it has been taken, and I think it comes in the form of a sacrifice for making the free choice to speak about these matters. You'll notice the title that I put up is signifies the etymological similarities between three important words: Sabbath, Saturn, and Satan. These are all phonetically similar as well as etymologically similar terminologies. You can just before I jump into it, if anybody's interested in Wordle, I have a strategy tip, because if you don't know how it works, if you're not familiar, I highly recommend getting into it. It's really fucking great game, and I do bide my time here in this prison where I am frequently playing this game. It involves words mostly, but there's a strategy component to it. Slow. Peak. Audio test. One of the main retards, I call them retards. One of the main retards just walked by. There's a chance that the stream will drop out. There's a correlation between the capture of my signal and the loss of a connection. So the first word, if you don't know anything about Wordle, the first thing you do is you guess. So the point of it is to guess the word. It could be a 6-letter word, whatever. So you're first, and you have to eliminate. You have to find the letters, and then find their positions, and then ultimately find the word. So you get hints. If you have a letter that belongs to the word, but it's in the wrong place, it'll be yellow. If you have the right letter in the right place, it'll be green. And if it doesn't belong at all, it'll be gray. So the point strategically is to find all your vowels. So if you guess the word on the first try, it's 100% luck. There's no, it's better to just stick strategically every time you play, to stick to one word as your beginning word, because that also increases the likelihood of getting it right on the first try. But what you want to do is get your vowels out of the way. So a word with the most vowels is ideal. Mine is Eros. Plural for arrow, meaning of the air. And there's no strategy involved necessarily in the first guess. Second guess is a combination of luck and strategy, because depending on what you got right in the first guess, you're going to strategically guess and eliminate letters that are not included as you go. Now here's the third, and this is the most important strategic tip. Do not do what I did here. On my third guess, I could have gotten decoy. I could have gotten it correct on the third try instead of the fourth. You get 6 tries. But I went for elimination, letters to eliminate, before I went with common words. So begot is not a common word. They do throw in, depending on where you're playing it, you can get some rather archaic terms, but yeah, in strategizing this game, it's better to think about the likelihood of the word existing in the puzzle before thinking just off the top of your head or on the fly, before thinking about words that are common or words. It's better to think of more common words, because the likelihood that it's going to be that. Anyway, there's a trade-off. As you're eliminating the letters of the alphabet that are going to be contained in the word that is to be guessed, there's a trade-off between trying to eliminate and trying to guess the right word. This one was, I would say, mid-level for me, and again, it's all like, because the word is random, it's it could be very difficult depending on how the guessing goes, or how your strategy goes, and your level of luck. You can end up, I don't even remember what the fuck I was saying. They really, the distractors really come out in full force. I think also depending on the subject matter. So let's see if we can. Let's just see what we can do. Trying also not to be distracting, so I have a responsibility to not be speaking loudly and clearly, but I also need to capture audio. Capture. I don't think, or at least I hope, see what happens here. Let's see what happens here. They're trying to nuke my computer. Like since all else has failed, the strategy that they're employing now is to just melt my computer. And once I don't have a microphone to reach the outside world, Then they will proceed with fully eliminating me, putting me in a chamber, torturing me, and then flaying my skin and probably drinking my blood and eating me. Ba-da-ba-ba-boo. There's a lot of moving parts. What I need to do right now is to confirm. I'm so sorry. I can't do this without. I want there to be background noise or background music. Music. I'm so sorry. I can't do this without. Well, shit. I think I might have. Hold on. No. Fuck. That's probably quiet enough. I'm going to assume that's quiet enough. I'm going to hope that's quiet enough. But it's also very demanding. Okay, so what's on our agenda? So I already kind of knocked out some of these. And without getting into too much detail, because some of it's really not entertaining at all. I was in a relationship. I have other theories that go into this stuff, and this is I genuinely believe that the Saturnalia, like the aspects of the spiritual realm, the mental and spiritual realm that are playing a factor in all of this are a major part of the development of certain theories, as well as they playing a role in I don't think I can do this. I don't think I can do this. I'm gonna have to go without it. Hold on, let me just see something real fast. Stuff, and this is I genuinely believe that the Saturnalia, like the aspects of the spiritual realm, the mental and spiritual realm that are playing a factor in all of this are a major part of the development of certain theories, as well as this just fucking just I'm gonna go ahead and assume that I mean I have to. Either there is music or there's not. But I have to move on with my life. And hopefully it doesn't go into a commercial and fucking just fuck everything. So the spiritual realm, the accuser. Three things that are, these are all very, very, very important things. And I would like to begin with, because I'm beginning at the beginning of my relationship, and my suspicion, though I cannot confirm, my suspicion about this theory that is really fucking far out there. My ex, Kara, had this thing with her jaw where it would get trapped open. Like she still probably has it, I don't know, where like if she opened her mouth too wide it would detach and she couldn't close it. My mind, so you take that and you pair it with Theories about lizard people. Okay. Just go with me here. Just go. Let's go. Let's just go. Here we go. You compare that with theories about lizard people and shapeshifters. I watched the HBO series. It was called The Outsider. I'm just going to restart it because I'm hoping that this one doesn't have all these godforsaken commercials in it. Which was about a shapeshifter that, like, just go watch the movie, or go watch the series, HBO. It's called The Outsider. It came out in 2020. Jason Bateman, all that stuff. What I am not saying is I believe fiction is true. What I am saying is that in all instances, what we commonly regard as mythology is storytelling. And throughout all of human history, what we call legends and mythology now are all derived from the tendency for humans to tell stories. When a human tells a story, artistically speaking, what they're doing is mirroring reality back to the audience. This is the nature of these things. And whenever you, like, for instance, I can't think of like a statue, maybe, like a sculpture. Whenever you see a well-made sculpture, you don't look at it and think that's a real, if it's, let's say it's a sculpture of a human, like Michelangelo's David, you don't look at David and say to yourself, look, there's the actual biblical character. That's not the way it works. Well, it's the same way. What you do is you look at it and you recognize that it is a derivative of reality, and it is a something that is reflected back to you as a representation of what is real. Mythology works in the same way, which is why so much storytelling and art reflects reality. Well, what I'm going to tell you about my story, I don't believe this to be true. You have to, must always keep in mind that I only believe really one thing. I have two pillars of thought, but they're all, again, derivative. The one thing that I believe to be true, and it is an immutable fact, like foundational belief, that nobody, even if they're best at their best, nobody has and nobody can convince me otherwise. I know this to be true. I know it in ways that that transcend the ability to even speak about what knowledge really is. There's one thing I believe, and that is we are created. Human existence is the result of being created intentionally by what is only the only befitting term for a created creature, created creature, is that there's a creator. So the one thing I believe is that there is God. And the other thing that I believe is that because there is God, there is, or are, rules. Just like if you make something, you're abiding by principles that are embedded within reality that you cannot violate. You can try to violate them. You can, for instance, try to build a house out of twigs, but the rules of structural integrity are going to lead you through time to a correction in that error. Okay? Because we are created, because creation exists according to universal principles that cannot be violated, any attempt to violate them, every attempt, in fact, historically speaking, has resulted in and will result in corrective measures. And it's not like the old Hebrew like way of thinking about it, like the Hebrews did this, and therefore God came and did this back to them. That's one way of thinking about it, but in reality, like the mechanism itself holds as though it could not have been done in the first place. And I hope that makes sense. It's just the only confusion about that is the way time works. So just because you're able to do something does not mean that you should, and we all know this. But also the fact that stay. I have to avoid distractions. Keep that in mind. Whenever there's a fucking distraction, it's being sent by Satan, who might be Saturn, who might be, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you could get into, you could easily get into some of these details yourself, but they're not for the simple-minded. These things do not exist. They're not made for everybody. The desire to it's just like you can't make somebody know something. You have to want to. That's also an embedded. That's a rule that's embedded in the universe. And that's how free will and intention works. You are not going to know something if you don't want to know it. You're not going to know God if you don't want to know God. You're not going to understand how electronics work, antenna theory. You're not even going to know, really anything if you don't have the intention to utilize your God-given free will to make the choice to understand it. It is not going to happen. And so on that point, you're only here because if you've made it this far in the freakish, stupid 30 minutes of time wasted that I have spent not even starting it's difficult for me as well. As difficult as it is for you, it is for me. I wanted to show you, so you're not going to go these directions. There it is. I wanted to show you the fact that it shows up on my main page because the algorithm feeds it back to me, and it'll show you also, look how far I've gotten in the video. So out of a 2-hour video on YouTube, the highest archon, which is a Gnostic terminology, Irrevelato, talks about the depths of, and that person I'm subscribed to, an excellent video maker. Even has like a specific method using AI and whatnot to generate the images. But I haven't gotten very far with this. I'm just speaking off the cuff in terms of what I know, where I am. I'm some basic, smelly, fucking homeless guy. Alright? I don't want to make any claims otherwise. Like, if you were to, like, physically come to reality, come to interact with me, I know I look like a Greek Adonis. I know I appear to be this well-spoken and articulate academic genius who belongs in the top of the ivory tower, disseminating the knowledge and wisdom from the gods above. I am not. I am some stinky fucking homeless guy. If you were to approach me in real life, you would quickly understand, because of the level of sorry, I'm trying to dig out a pill. I think this is part of the trade-off that I made. Is in order to do this, in order to talk about this, I had to lose something precious. I didn't consciously make this choice, but now that I am acknowledging the fact that it has occurred, Saturn, if you are truly the keeper of time and ruler of worlds, please recognize that I've done my due diligence and afford me the right and the ability to continue unperturbed. Okay? That means get Jeff out of here. Thank you. Okay. So, everybody, even if you were forced to know this, you would have forgotten if you didn't want to. It's not PEMDAS. My very eager mother just, how did it go? Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn. Okay. Where do I want to start? Before, and I'm not going to get very far. Again, I can only do so much. Before all of this, 2009, I was living on, I remember the address, 4033 Oak Street in Midtown, Kansas City. Apartment B. I think it was called the Rosewood Condominiums. I found a guy on Craigslist, and it was during the prime probably the initial aspects of my psychedelic journey, I invited Nikki Jackson, who has abandoned me, who needs to get off her fucking fat ass. Because, I mean, for somebody who names her daughter Phoenix, rise from the ashes, like, someone who's as spiritually inclined as that woman, who is a fucking amazing human being, who I've always loved. Again, Nikki, Nile, my buds, forever and ever. They need to get off their fucking ass. You'll see that she's in my history, because I'm like, lady, hey, we're not friends. I don't even understand how this shit works. Like, we're not friends, or are we? I don't fucking know. But, like, pivotal fucking fundamental stuff going on here. Okay? Why did I start talking about her? Gosh dang it. Oh, because we did DMT in my basement apartment on 4033 Oak Street. If you don't know what DMT is, it's called dimethyltryptamine. It's produced by the human brain, and can be also derived and synthesized out of natural substances like grasses and really basic things. It's in a lot of things, and it might very well be a key component in accessing human spirituality. Joe Rogan talks about it a lot. During my experimentation period, during the beginning of it, I had a dream afterwards. So it wasn't while doing DMT. This was in the weeks surrounding what would have been my second or third time doing it. And it was like, and with Nikki Jackson. And I don't think I talked much about this at all. I might have talked about it with Shelley, but this was one of many, like, revelation type experiences. I woke up. It was one morning. I woke up, but I wasn't awake. I was still dreaming, but I was not. I don't know if anybody else has had these sorts of experiences, but they do occur. In this quasi-awake, quasi-asleep, quasi-other realm, the only things that were that were a part of my cognitive experience were, I could see I got up, actually. I literally got out of bed, and out of the corner of in my periphery was what I believed in, what I 100% believed to be an alien, like a gray alien. And it was it was there. And then in the backdrop of my mind, and I can't explain how it works, but there's an image of a planet. It's not what you think. That's not where I'm going right now. I'm just conveying this because I don't know what it means. I didn't know at the time. This was in 2009, so I would have been 22 maybe? Sounds about right. I was like, I know that, but like, that's a planet. I recognize it, and I could see it, and it was as though I was there, like hovering in space next to it or something. It was fucking weird, man. Like, balls to the wall, trippy. It wasn't like a flashback or anything. It was just like a sober experience. Waking up, there's a guy in my fucking mind over here in the corner, and then there's a backdrop of like this planet. So I got out of bed, and as I got out of bed, I moved towards my computer, which was a desktop sitting about 5 feet away from the foot of my bed, the opposite wall. I went to look it up, and as I was coming out of dreamland into reality, I went to look for that planet, and it turned out to be the planet Jupiter. I don't know what the fuck that means, but I do think that there's relevance to the ultimate, what is the ultimate point of this, which is to go towards discussions about sorry, distractions again. Be gone. About Saturn. Okay. I don't know what Jupiter has to say to me, or if it's Jupiter and Saturn. Again, I'm just using words to describe things that I know have meaning. That's it. Again, I'm just a smelly fucking homeless dude. If you were to get close to me, I don't know if I finished that thought. I don't think I did. If you were to approach me in real life, you would be hit with a wall of stench generated by my armpits and crotch rot. So powerful that it would probably knock you on your ass if you're like a quote-unquote normal person. So I fully exist in the realm of the misfit fucking island out there, whatever. And all these people who are walking by me, even if they're not truly homeless, they live in a fucking homeless shelter. Okay. Now, Saturn, Jupiter being perhaps another discussion for another time. I don't know. Let's go into what my first the very first encounter with this concept, and that's a good foray into trying to derive meaning from this crazy stuff. This song and this album, arguably the pinnacle of their career, as well as the what's it called? There's a name for it. Their best album. I don't want to say the best, but like spiritually unrivaled. It is a masterpiece. It's literally a cornerstone, like the lyric says right here. Now, again, I didn't pay attention to any of this shit back when it started. Like back in 2001, I was literally 15 years old. Okay, so this please stay with me. I was 15 years old when Tool's album, which I described as the soundtrack to my spiritual enlightenment. The very first song on that album is a song about Saturn. It's a song about Saturn. like through and through. If you look into the mythology of it, it's about the process of going through the what do they call it? The grinder of reality, and either coming out having been refined into gold, or remaining dark lead. And you can go any direction you want with trying to interpret the song in terms of hermeneutics, but I'm going to explain what it means to me specifically, what all this means. And I'm going to just start with Tool, and then I'll move on. So, Saturn ascends, choose 1 or 10, hang on, or be humbled again. I don't want to belittle the song by speaking in a dismissing sort of simplistic way about it, but you could go into, so you wear your grudges like a crown of negativity, calculate what we will or will not tolerate, desperate to control all and everything, unable to forgive your Scarlet Letterman. So all of this, what it does is it invites you into this territory of attempting to understand your existence as an individual in this realm, the realm of Earth, like being here, being in this. It might be a sort of purgatory. Some people, like the Gnostics, they regarded it as a sort of hell of some sort. Some of these wild ideas, like it's not intended to be this way. That's why it's hard to deal with all the suffering, is because it's like a twisted, like off version of what it's supposed to be. This is just Gnostic theology. But then there's also these other ideas that relate to sort of integrating your understanding about your own existence in the first place, like just as it is, as a matter of fact. So you come into the world, you generate all of these calculative experiences that are the result of your own intention, and you are a microcosm of the greater, as above so below, the greater creator, and ultimately you will not come to terms unless you really let go. Now, there's two ways I'm going to go with this. The first way, God help me, please. The first way that I'm going to go with this is I'm going to explain what a Saturn year is. And the second way is I'm going to explain. So one is the length of a Saturn year. Two is the song Rosetta Stoned. Okay. So one, how long is a Saturn year? Approximately 29 and a half Earth years. So one Saturn year is 29 Earth years. 10,000 almost 11,000 days. This is also the basis of tools. Saturn year tool. "10,000 days" is titled with a reference to Saturn's orbital period, which is approximately 10,000 days. According to Wikipedia, this is also known as the Saturn return, which is a period of change and transformation in one's life, believed to occur roughly 29 and a half years after birth. Okay, so there's also, but there's so like there's the time, there's wherever Saturn was when you were born, and then by the time you're almost 30, Saturn is in the same place relative to the sun and the earth and all this, the way the planets work, right? But then there's also another component to it. When I was 15, again in the year 2002, so I was not quite yet 16, but it was the year 2002, is on Easter weekend is when I found God. It's the moment. It was a 3-day period, Easter weekend. I swear on all that is holy, I became a believer in God over Easter weekend in 2002. I was in a decrepit, dilapidated meth house, and I got twacked out on Good Friday. I didn't even know what the fuck that meant, but it was on Good Friday. I snorted like a 1/4 gram of meth, and instead of getting all wiggity whacked out like everybody else, I obsessed over reading the Bible. It was the New International Version of the Book of Matthew. Now, I was so into it that I was writing because it was, again, a dilapidated meth house. I was taking notes with a crayon, and the notes that were the most pertinent, again as a 15-year-old, the notes that were most pertinent to me was to try to understand not just the depth of the Beatitudes, for instance, chapter 5, but the words that were being used. Because there's a whole, the Bible is a way of learning, just learning whatever language is translated to you, in my case is English, is a way of expanding your mind in 1,000 different directions. For me, it was literally language, logos. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. Okay. So from that point forward, not only did I believe in God, which is still the only thing I really believe. Everything else is unconfirmable rumors and probably lies. Good morning.
What's all that about it?
Do you want to?
Not yet.
Oh, come on. Sorry. There's a. Gosh dang it. I lost my train of thought. Oh, Easter weekend. The other aspect of it wasn't just believing in God. It was language, the desire to understand words from that point forward. So I was 15 years old. So Easter 2002 was 23 years ago. And there's other aspects to it. Oh, here we go. The album's title also has a personal connection. His mother lived 27 years. So 27, 23. Okay, so the Saturn year, to a pinpoint, to a needle point, is 10,759 days. But it's also a period because of how gigantic the orbit is. I am now approaching the Saturn year that is the Saturn return for the time at which I came to believe in God. And there's more. So I'm approaching it, right? Hopefully in the next, 23, hopefully in the next 7 years I can somehow, in the next 7 years, I can do what I came here to do. I don't know if I'm going to. I pray to God that I'm going to be able to do what I came to Earth to do. But that's all dependent on whether or not the message is getting received and it's static and the noise is getting drawn out. Okay, so there's one more thing and then I'll move on. So number 2, Rosetta Stoned. Okay. This is about, again, Tool, the soundtrack to my personal spiritual enlightenment. The song Rosetta Stoned is about an encounter with a gray alien. This song came out in 2006. 2006 was also the year that 5 people I know died, and 2 of whom I still believe or suspect, I don't believe, I suspect were murdered. I'm not making any accusations presently, but looking back, based on what I know now, there's very, very, very suspicious circumstances surrounding the death of Joseph Anthony Searing, whom I spoke about on KCTV 5 News in 2006 from the porch where it happened. And then there's also certain details that I can recall that I won't talk about now, but 2006, that Nathan Charles Benson, my best friend at the time, committed suicide, allegedly. But anyway, 2006 is when this came out, and it's a song about doing a bunch of drugs, DMT being one of them. And so my DMT trip didn't come, first of all, didn't come relevant or tangential to any of this until later. But there's one particular aspect of it that I've always felt close to my heart. Because on one level, you're just listening, you're watching and listening to this. You're listening to this guy explain an encounter outside of Area 51 where an gray alien descends from a spaceship or somehow, it's an encounter with an alien, and the alien tells the person, then the X-Files being some kind of blue-green Jackie Chan with Isabella Rossellini lips, smelled a certain way, yada yada. He says, after calming me down, this is part of one of the better parts of it. After calming me down with some orange slices and some fetal spooning, E.T. revealed to me his singular purpose. He said, "You are the chosen one." Now this is a common motif actually in alien encounters, or alleged alien encounters, whatever. Is the idea of being chosen. And then there's also this, because at the beginning he says, I was outside of Area 51 contemplating the chosen people thing. So this idea of chosen, of being chosen, the chosen people, and I'm not even gonna, I won't have to do much here to just, like, let's just see what happens if I type this into Google. In religious context, chosen people typically refers to a group selected by a deity, blah, blah, blah. This concept is most commonly associated with Judaism, where the Jewish people are believed to have been chosen by God. So, keep the string going. If you have to write it down, do it. This is Beacon. So where have we gone so far? In the last stream I talked about Saturn. The name of this stream is Saturn, Sabbath, Satan. This song, so chosen people being, so Saturn has the hexagon. Maybe we'll get into that again, but maybe not. But this whole chosen people thing, and then he talks about my favorite part was, after calming me down with some orange slices and some fetal spooning, he says, you're the chosen one, the one who will deliver the message, a message of hope for those who choose to hear it, and a warning for those who do not. They chose me, he says, with inquisitively and with emphasis. I didn't even graduate from fucking high school. Well, guess who didn't graduate from fucking high school? This guy. I dropped out of high school with a fucking 4.0 GPA. Why? Because fuck Satan, really. So there's that. And then you go from there to all these other seeming coincidences, like my daughter's birthday, which is around the original, almost to the day, but it's off by 2 days. The original prediction for the end of the Time Wave Zero. So if you know much about Terence McKenna, he formulated an original hypothesis for the end of Time Wave Zero, meaning the increase into infinite novelty, which was supposed to signify this eschaton, this end of the world or beginning of something else sort of revelation period. And he had his own little jokes about it. Like he didn't think that I'm the whatever. What he ended up doing was he heard about the Mayan calendar, and if it wasn't for Terence McKenna, you might not even, like, this type of stuff doesn't just pop up out of the fucking blue. The 2012 phenomenon, which is very, very psychedelic, like the book 2012. Not the movie. The book, Daniel Pinchbeck. Oh my god. Oh my god, they shot him down. You stupid bitches. What did they do to him? Oh. Some satanic bullshit right here, man. I'm telling you, dude. The fuck? It's evil shit, dude. I'm telling you. Evil fucking shit. This book sat on my bookshelf forever. And he goes into all kinds of... He's a psychedelic guy. He was on when he was promoting the book way back then, he was on Stephen Colbert's Colbert Report promoting it, and Colbert has his own little like sideshow sort of thing involving an appreciation for psychedelics, even though he's a Catholic, etc. Allegedly, whatever that even fucking means. So the Terence McKenna thing ended up being December 21st, 2012, and so 12/21/12 instead of 11/20, 2012. My daughter was born. Well, she actually went into labor She went into labor 2 days earlier, 11/20/2012, and we named her after Terence McKenna. But she was born at the end of Time Wave Zero. So this is all cosmic shit, and it could just be nothing. It could just be the machinations of some fucking crazy homeless dude. But if you made it this far, thanks for watching. I think that's all I want to say about that. Saturn. So the Saturn return being the next phase, if I'm not murdered by secretive sociopaths dwelling in the halls of Eden or whatever. My life has been geared towards creating an amalgam of information so that my entire life, my whole life, an amalgam of information that is directly involved with every single thing in the West that is considered a hot topic. So my story involves race, it involves socioeconomic disparities, it involves gender ideology, it involves human sexuality, it involves I can't think of anything that it doesn't involve. In fact, it's not a 6 degrees of separation sort of thing where you can obviously you can make connections, blah blah blah. No, it's like 1 or 2 degrees. Like, just name something. Like I push. Like, what if I? Oh shit! I revealed my location. Oh no. What if I just go to I wonder. This might be a little bit hubristic to say, so I might not. I'm glad they kept this. I'm feeling stellar? Bitch. No. What are you doing? I didn't. No, Lucky. Why are you doing that? How do I change it? This bullshit. Fucking bullshit, man. Google Trends. Feeling lucky. I'm feeling lucky. I am very lucky. Doodles. Oh, cool. Google Doodles. Well, that one's easy because I'm an artist. Like, hands down. So and I haven't in a while because I've been distracted by murderous cannibals and psychopaths. But in order to provide evidence for my claim. Get off. Okay, it's time to quit. Time to quit. Gonna melt this fucking thing. Oh, there we go. There's a painting I did. There's a nice painting I did. Here's a bunch of my a whole bunch of them. That's not mine. That one, I don't even know where the fuck that came from. There's my schizoid fucking self-portrait. Hurry up, you fucking weirdo. Whoever took this video is retarded. There's another self-portrait through a broken mirror. That is Benjamin Brownfield in the back. Pretty cool dude. I did this one. Don't know that person. Still. Oh, there's your origin story. Okay. And then also, didn't mean to do that one. Also, I gotta go back to the Minutia Bear. So I don't fucking understand how any of this shit works. The Jews and the I don't fucking get it. I don't. I just want to live my life. I think that's a part of it, is like, with the innocence of naivety, just going around like, why, when I left Speakeasy Saloon, which was the private chat for Owen Benjamin's live streams. If you go to Owen Benjamin's live streams, you'll see him talking to people in the chat. Well, during the period in which I was very close to being assassinated or kidnapped, I don't remember when it was, 2022 or 2022 probably, around that same time. I was Minutia Bear. Okay. So I started off with this, and then I got more and more detailed, and then and I just fucking, I never lost my sense of humor. Oh shit, I've been doing the inward thing for oh Lord. That was inside of when I was sleeping on the floor at fucking George's shop. Okay. Okay, so the final quote unquote progress. That's not even okay. So I got to this point, and then I think I stopped because it was probably around this time, 158 weeks ago, that I was into it, and then I was like, this Owen guy is really, he's doing, he just threw me off, man. Again with the detectors, like, oh, he's up to something, he's doing something, and I left. He didn't block me, I voluntarily left. I was like, oh, this is some fucking, if something was going on, and I was like, this is some stupid bullshit. And then like the next day or the day after that, his dog died, and he did a whole stream crying his fucking eyes out where I guess his dog died. Coincidence? I don't know. Let's see if I can do it one more time. Bitch. Did I not press .com? No, not. Thank you. I'm gonna fucking murder you people. I'm feeling lucky. Oh. Okay, so it's by design. So fucking stupid. Lucky. Luck. There's no such. Oh, is that really the definition of randomness, huh? Alright, fuck it. I'm not doing it anymore. You get the point. What else? So Saturn. Okay. Saturn. Saturn's return to the time I discovered God. I like that phrase, that saying, I found God. I found God, because he's hiding behind the couch or whatever. Discovered. It wasn't God revealed himself to me. It was, no, it's like the fact of the matter resides in your reality. And the ability to access it is right fucking there. Maybe, and that might be it. Maybe if I make it 7 more years, I can explain why A, God exists, and B, all your atheist satanic bullshit needs to fucking stop. And C, it's time for a new religion. Perennialism. Like this stuff that precedes perennialism. Also happens to be what Philip K. Dick believed. Coincidentally, I just read that in the exegesis. He was a perennialist. Perennialism, known as the perennial philosophy, is a philosophical and spiritual perspective that suggests a shared universal truth underlying all religions and spiritual traditions. This perennial wisdom is believed to be the source of both exoteric, outer, publicly taught, and esoteric, inner, hidden, inward knowledge across different cultures and times. So, new religion. I know. That's a hard one. But it starts with like stopping. It starts by stopping. Okay? So, where's the beginning? It's at the end. Okay? Saturn has a time. There's a time component. So the rings of Saturn are thought to be Saturn time myth. Saturn is a god of time, agriculture, and liberation. He is often associated with the cyclical nature of time, representing the father time figure. who oversees the passage of years and the inevitability of endings and beginnings. Endings and beginnings. See, I didn't know it was gonna shit like that was gonna pop up, but like, where's the beginning? Where does the new religion begin? It begins with somebody who, or something. It begins with a recognition of perennial wisdom, perennialism, but more importantly, true believers. The liberation of true belief. True belief. I make jokes about this Christianity, churchian stuff, and that's an Owenism, Owen Benjamin. I make jokes about this because he says churchian. Like, I might be a Christian, but I'm not a churchian. I've made comments about this regarding the existence of God damn it. Sorry. Sometimes I just want to fucking get up and scream at him. I actually have on a couple occasions. I was like, what the fuck, man? What do you want? Leave me the fuck alone. Okay. Don't know where I was going with that. But now that I think we've established something, I don't fucking know. Time, Saturn years, cycle. Okay. It wasn't all bad. I need for everybody to know that too. Even though the worst parts of it, the absolute worst parts of it are the most noticeable. The way that kind of like the way that a shadow cuts a line. The worst parts of it are the most noticeable. The best parts were also, I think, maybe that's why. Maybe I violated some sort of cosmic principle by having this relationship, by entering into this relationship by choice. Because, like, there's this idea that in order to receive something tremendous and amazing, it costs a lot. This happens to be true. I think maybe the best parts of that relationship were paid for by the subsequent outcomes that I'm now living through. Because the best parts were so fucking good. The best parts were so good that it literally almost killed me. Maybe, I don't know. But I'm not full of a seething hatred, and in fact, my sister has one of the most important pieces of evidence. It was a letter that I sent to her. She may have lost it. It's not particularly important now. But I sent her a letter from Newton County, And within the letter, despite how legible or easy to interpret the letter may have been because of my quote-unquote psychotic break, yada yada, the shit that I was forced through by these demons, none of which were specifically the mother of my children. Like, she played a role just like everybody played a role. The ultimate enemy was, and is, the enemy itself. The accuser, the condemner, the prosecutor. And maybe letting go of grudges means like just fucking giving up and just giving up, just giving up altogether. Like walking into a fucking, I don't know. Anyway, so we got pregnant. She got pregnant. But when it's something that you embark upon, it becomes a we. And I was much less of a man than I mean, if I could do it over the things I know now, holy shit, why she even picked me. It only, like, and this is why my mind is so fucked about it, is like, it in a lot of ways, it only makes sense that she picked me because of my malleability and my ability to be manipulated in the ways that I was. But it's also, it could be just like that song Georgia, which also shows up on my main page. I listen to it a lot because this song is the epitome of what I believe is the entire prerogative of women on earth, of like all women. I think she in her song, and again, I'm not gonna search for it, I'm gonna scroll for it. This is either how predictable I am, or how unpredictable, or how predictable YouTube's algorithms think I am. Like, oh, is he gonna go? Oh, what's he gonna do? Is he gonna watch hurling crowbirds at mocking bars for the 30,000th time? No, not today. What about Viva La Vida with lyrics? No. Oh, what's it gonna be then? What's it gonna be? There it is.
Georgia, I love your son. But when he gets older, he might be the one. He might be the one. Georgia, he has beautiful bones, and he never lies or picks up his phone.
Okay, so the point of that, and she does, you can go watch it yourself, but the she says, so she's speaking to a woman, and it's this aspect of it is like, it indicates that he might be younger, and we, without getting into the fucking stupidity of everybody's sexual consent jargon, just like acknowledge that this could be what we know to be the age, the psychological disparity between men and women. Like, it's a known, I could even just, women more mature, science. See what women more mature have a variant demonstrate faster brain maturation, cognitive and emotional. So women develop more quickly, I guess. Might be the point of that. But that's sort of it. It's in that vein. That's where that vein goes. And so she sees a boy, and she thinks when he gets older he might be the one. And then she describes him and the reasons she likes him, and then the chorus, I don't know if they're called choruses, but these are what I'm talking about. It says, if you find me, will you know me? Will you take me, or will you fall? That is me and my ex. That is me and Kara. That is her. That is Kara speaking to me. It's what I hear. And the answer was, I will fall. But then again, there's another there's more. If I breathe you, will it kill me? She's saying this to him. If I breathe you, will it kill me? Will you have me or watch me fall? So that's the damsel in distress phenomenon. That motif saying, like, if I approach you in order to select you as the one, is this going to be a greater burden? Is this going to kill me? Like, is this thing, this attraction, this magnetism, is this going to result in my death, really, spiritually or otherwise? And will you take me, will you have me, or will you watch me fall? And then this is the kicker, because this is the truth. This is just the truth. This is the female. This is the woman's. And by the way, fuck off with your gender shit. I'm talking about biological women whose purpose on Earth is to create humans. That is a primordial, factually a primordial divine responsibility. Fucking with that, if I'm here as the guy who didn't fucking graduate from high school to deliver a message, listen to me, that gender shit, you are fucking up bad. Really bad. Like, I get, like, we can have the conversation about the blending of non-binary and androgyny and all the biological reasons, like Klinefelter's or all the different, like, we can have that conversation by saying no to it, by saying no to the egregious aspects of it. We're not precluding the ability to have an honest conversation about the details. So you don't have to look at me saying faggot or, the things that the Harry Potter lady keeps saying as like monolithic nail in the coffin, I'm scared mommy type shit. There have always been tomboys. There have always been girly boys. There have tomboys like masculine women and girly boys. And historically the answer was like, oh, he's one of those. He's a dandy, or like these are perennial truths. But the approach with this, like, chopping off the penis shit, all of that, huge fucking red flag, major fuck up. So I'm talking about without all that, I'm talking about men and women, biological men and biological women. Men fuck, women get fucked. As Louis C.K. would have put it more gracefully, I would say women are the selectors. Women choose who gets to carry the genes into the future, and they have a profound responsibility in that respect. I was chosen. The details of that I can't get into, but the approach, which is a very, very feminine approach. If I fix you, she says to him, I'm not saying Phoebe Bridgers says to her boyfriend. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying she, the cosmic female, says to him, the cosmic male, if I fix you, will you hate me? Would you fuck this and let us fall? Like, deep stuff. Like, you can go into the details by mentioning it, but if you have the ability, if you have the open eyes, the open mind, the open ears to go that direction, you can. Running out of time. All the echoes in my mind. So we go into baby trying to raise a family, and I didn't know I had a certain set of like prerogatives when I started out 2 hours ago doing this, and perhaps this was the lesson that God wanted to evoke, like to draw out of me, was to, like, sort of in a therapeutic way integrate some of this in a healing manner, to integrate some of this animosity, because I want to say, I want what I have, and what I've been doing is acting like the accuser. I've been, this is wrong, like doing this, a lot of this, and it's been done back to me. Like, it's like it's a force that occupies a space between people. That's why I repeatedly go on these like energetic rants about anti-satanic stuff, and there's a very, very profound foundational aspect to all that. And maybe I should eventually, you know what, this is not the stream for it, but eventually we're going to get to this point. And we're going to talk about all of this stuff, and we're going to include it and involve it in the Saturnian stuff. And we're going to involve it in the progression of revelation that has been my own personal life. But I actually do want to finish I'm just going to delete that because it's not. So that we're gonna have to let me take a good look at it. But ultimately, we're gonna have to just put it off. And there's some really telling stuff just by me typing it out right there. Like, I did email the KBI. KBI responded in one of my emails. Kansas Bureau of Investigation. My children were kidnapped. There was a guy from a considerably well-off family who seemed in a bizarre way to be acting like a vulture, intending on taking my children and having his way with them. I'm not joking about that. All the stuff that did happen inside of that fucking apartment, which I can show you. I can show you real quick. I can show you. I can show you the world. I can show you the world. Bleeding, dripping in fucking something. You shut up, bitch. Was it 609 or 809? Oh, I think it was 809. Good lord. I forgot my own fucking address. Do you like apples? Where's my fucking... Dude, this is... What am I fucking missing here? Is it upside down? What the fuck, bro? Dude, look at this. Was it just automatically upside down? Which way is... Oh, no, it's not. Oh my god, I was freaking out for a second. What an idiot. This is why you don't do these things live. We'll do it live. There it is. So inside this fucking house that was built during slave times. If you go right. Come on, bitch. I can't zoom in. It's not gonna let you. There's a lot of shit that happened right up in. So you enter and you go up. There's stairs here. There's the kid's bedroom I actually put over on the other side. And then the kids' bedroom was over here, so they had this window because these are boarded up because the fucking retards who own this property are just fucking shitty shit. This town is full of just mostly shit people with old money and devil fucking poison in their veins. It's a college town. They literally prey on the young. Like, that is the business model for this whole fucking town. It's a college town that makes all its money by the entire fucking economy depends on people who believe in higher education and certificates and all that stuff. I'm not gonna shit on all that right away, but the business aspect of it is all this money flows in, and all these fucking they have, like, you can see it in their fucking skull. Like, you can see into their fucking, the crevices in their fucking veins. Like, this town is like, and maybe that has something to do with all this, is like the fact that this happened in this town in particular. Like, there's a place, just real quick, I'll show you. There is a place. Can I pick it up? No, it's over here. No. Where the fuck is it? Keep going. You fucking cocksucker. Look at that. There's a place where the library and this is something. Why is it fucking blurred out? Somebody didn't want to be seen. Come on, man. Okay, so the firehouse. Again, I'm just like freeballing here. But have you ever looked into the Denver airport? Like, some of the shit that goes into, like, the conspiracy theories surrounding the Denver airport, and all of these ideas of, like, there being, like, a subterranean, like, this whole lizard people thing. I don't fucking know. Here's what I do know. Here's what I can say as a motherfucking fact. Is right here. For almost... So there's two things about this location. For almost 2 years and longer, there was, right here where the cursor is, there was a tunnel. There was like a gate, there was a fence up, and a clear and obvious fucking, like you drive into and go down underneath the fucking ground here. And it was as though, like, nobody ever talked about it. It was never on the fucking news, anything like that. It was just like there was this construction area, and this construction area just dwelled there for over a year and a half. If anybody who fucking lives there and pays attention knows what I'm fucking talking about. Right next to the fire station. This right here was blocked off. I can't remember which years, but it was just open. It was just right here, like underneath right here, where these black marks are. Pretty sure it was over here. And for the amount of time that there was this quote-unquote construction zone blocking off this area with the fence and everything, it's quite apparent that not a whole lot of shit was done, like, to the building itself. Like, it's the weirdest fucking thing. I'm just freeballing, going off the top of my head here about like shit that I've noticed. And then also, when I was in jail, there's this guy, one of the kids, I'm gonna call him a kid, who they sent. So they sent this guy. He had like a schizoid tendency, tattoos on his arms and stuff, and a weird, like the fact that he had this piercing, bald head. He had this piercing right here that he was allowed to have. So it was like he said it was a surgical implant that he couldn't take out. And so, like, of the things that you're allowed to have in jail, this guy had a fucking thing just right there. He's also happens to be the guy. He's the guy who rattled off the exact statute, U.S. code, that I included in my letter to the judge. So I wrote a letter to the judge begging for like, because I'm just like, I'm looking for a reason if I can get out of this shit. This was for the ankle monitor felony. He happened to know. I don't believe in coincidences. At the time, I was like, oh wow, God's sending me a message. And maybe still, there's some element of that. That charge got dismissed. At the time, I thought and believed that the reason that it was dismissed was a combination of there being evidence of them trying to stage a crime using that ankle monitor, and like the mismatched serial numbers and whatnot, and also whatever other fuckery there was going on there. Anyway, this guy, among the things he told me that he said to me, because he's talking about like the information they trade at the Vatican and like the the numbers on your social security card, and like you're a slave for the Vatican and like all this weird shit. I mentioned my lawyer, Cooper Overstreet. Please forgive me, Coop. But I swear to God, he said, and it freaked me out. So like, since he had said that, every time I walked past this building, from that point on, I would always look in the basement, these windows here. Like if I was walking, so here, this is, okay. All I said to him in this interaction, I was like, he's like, who's your lawyer? I said, Cooper Overstreet. He said, oh yeah, Coop. And he rattled off this like almost like flow of consciousness thing, this fucking schizoid dude, about, forgive me, about Cooper Overstreet fucking kids in the basement of, and he rattled off the fucking building. He said, this building. Like fucking kids in the basement of this building that I have on the screen right here. And it also happens to be the fucking law office that he was working for. And I was like, that, at the time I was like, I didn't put it together, but I don't know, dude. I don't fucking know. I think all this stuff is related. And hopefully it's just in my fucking head, but it's a lot of weird fucking shit. And I don't have that too much time to go into it, because I'm running out of battery here and whatnots. But what am I gonna lose here? I just wanted to gloss over this. At some point, I'm gonna have to. Like, I'm going to have to. And as a responsibility to the divine order, I have to. Like, I don't have a fucking choice. Talking about this stuff is the only thing that's giving me a sense of relief. Like, I've been condemned by the accuser to this pitiful hole of darkness and silence and fear and paranoia. And now that I'm talking about all this and getting it out, because I've known that I need to get it out. I've been talking about, I need to tell my story. I need to get this out. And it's like the fact that I have not been able to there's parity with a moral constriction as well, or an ethical constriction. And I don't know what it all means, but it means something. It's like all this stuff: Cooper Overstreet, diversion, working for Quick Trip, being on probation and not drinking, the green-haired lady who was running the only place in the state of Kansas, at least according to that institution, or that TFI, I think it was called. Let's look it up. Like, I might have, just by happenstance, been inculcated in a cosmic, like, drama that gets to the very heart of what the fuck is wrong with this entire world. I'm not kidding you. Epstein stuff, there might fucking be an underground railroad of, like, a pipeline of abducted children coming out of this, like, and my kids being so close to it. Like, I can hardly even think straight about it. What the fuck was I about to look up? What the fuck was I about to look up? TFI, I think it was TFI custody. Lawrence. Yeah, and then the only and the other weird fucking aspect of it is, like, it was as though everybody was in on it, like, in on something. And I was definitely the target of some kind of sadistic fucking toy. I don't know if I asked for this. When I said, like, I will give my life defending human virtue and human rights and freedom and all that stuff, I don't know that I asked to be, like, this fucking tortured peasant thing. But there was a sense that everybody was fucking in on it except for me. was like, what the fuck is happening? What are you doing? Even like when I went to the one time after almost, it would have been September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May. It was May or June. So it was almost 9 months that I went without seeing my children. 9 months. I was in their lives, a part of their lives, a very, very, very intimate and intricate part of their lives, of their protection, of their being there. I cared more about them than I have ever cared about any human being or any concept on earth, ever. Having been abandoned as a child myself, like I was even, I was, at one point, I was, that guy fucking walks by me again, I'm gonna shoot him in the face. I swear to fucking God. I'm gonna slit his fucking throat. I'm going to get up and break his fucking neck. No, I'm not. Yes, I am. No, I'm not. To the point that I was like, when I called the suicide hotline after my mother died and Kara was up to some sneaky shit, and I was like, oh, suicidal. The dude on the suicide hotline was like my reason for living on Earth. From that moment, I mean, it really became my reason when I decided to have children. I was like, that's how you make it. You can go back, I can probably find it at some point. Go back, but go, that's how you make the world a better place, is you have good children and you raise them to be good people. And you make a deliberate, concerted effort to do the best thing you can to raise a person to be a good person. So the meaning of my life from 2012 till 2020 was like 2018 was holding a family together against all odds, and then after that it was remaining a good father because I lived in a house I couldn't afford just so they would have stability. And then in 2020 all the shit happened and they were taken from me, like, to their detriment and mine. And so the TFI service lady, the place, there's email evidence of all this shit. In fact, the wicked, evil nature of all of it. Oh, all because I use bad words. Like, that's it. Because I refused to be a slave to an ideology that prohibits the use of language. As a creative writer. And instead of just like shooting me in the head, they're... Anyway, so the TFI bullshit was there's one fucking lady with green hair, and that green hair thing is important because it's an indicator as to how sincere or serious and professional of an institution it is or was. And there were aspects when I was floating around there of the way that fucking place was run. Off of it's off of 23rd and like Haskell or something, where I was like, what? I could hear the sound of children, and it's on like total lockdown. So there's like, it's like a compound almost. There's and there's no camera, so like the way that the validity of my rights essentially as a father was determined was by a green-haired lady who took notes, handwritten notes, observing my interactions with my own children after not seeing them for 9 months and being prohibited by the judge from speaking about the reason that I hadn't seen them for 9 months. On top of that, I asked, what was that cunt's name? The guardian ad litem, Catherine Barker. I specifically asked for TFI, there's that. Alright, so I have the information. I'll get into detail at some point, but I just want to point out just this one thing, which is I specifically, on numerous occasions, asked, pleaded, begged for the people who are orchestrating this, the lawyers, the judges, the everybody, who, with cackling on their faces, thought it was all a hilarious thing to fucking dangle the well-being of my own children in front of my face as a mockery. Okay, I asked on numerous occasions for them to see a therapist for all of the natural remedies that are afforded to sane human beings, like mediation, to be able to speak to my children over the phone, to for them, because of the psychological suffering that they were certain to endure and to encounter by the sudden absence of their father, for them to see a therapist. And as a point of mockery, both Catherines, Catherine Fatface Bitch and Catherine Barker, the guardian ad litem, decided that they would agree to include something to get signed by the judge. The only concession, the only fucking concession, like kill me, like literally psychologically torture me to death. Make sure my children are okay. That's all I ask. Make sure my children are okay. The only fucking thing I want. Knowing that that's the only thing I want. And you could go look at the conversation with Sharon Zier. You'll notice that when I mention the fact that I'm being psychologically tortured, she immediately changes the subject to my children. Like, what do you, like, go back and look at it. And I say, it begs the question how anybody cannot see what's happening here as psychological torture. And her immediate response to a statement like that is, are you able to see your children? It's because in her mind was associated with that point of pressure, that pressure point of psychological torture and manipulation. She immediately goes to that because the whole fucking reason for this was the torturing and possibly the killing. Like, I genuinely feel as though this all happened because my children were part of a fucking contract or something. I mean, I don't believe that. I don't believe that to be true. And I hope to God somebody will fucking send me confirmation of their well-being. Anyway, we've got hopefully 7 years. 7 more years. We got until 2032 when that fucking asteroid comes. Let's confirm that real quick and then I'll go fucking charge my shit. Asteroid 2032. The near-Earth asteroid, initially assessed as a potential threat for impact in 2032, has been reevaluated and is now considered safe to miss Earth. Indicates a very low probability. Okay, so this is NASA, and we all know, whatever. Say whatever you want about NASA. Here's what another thing I have to tell you. It's very important. This isn't this fucking asteroid. So I've got 7 years to complete my Saturn return. The conclusion of my Saturn return in the year 2032, there are certain measures of correction in terms of ethics and morality that if they are not met, it's not going to take... Do you know how easy it is? Do you know how much gravity would be required for this 1% to go from 1 to like 20? Now imagine 100, like an order of magnitude. Like how... because the details of this are, it's a 1 in 83 chance, they said at one point. December of 2032. This asteroid is no matter what, it's coming close enough to go between the moon and Earth. It's an asteroid that is going to travel through space between. It's going to go lower. It's going to come closer to Earth than satellites that are currently orbiting Earth. The possibility exists for this asteroid to knock out satellites that are in orbit. And I'm fucking telling you guys, the shit needs to get cleaned up and put back in order. And the child shit, all the fucking evil shit needs to get rectified. That's all I gotta say. I gotta get some fucking nicotine. I need some nicotine. Or I'm just crazy and you can just rest, just go lay, go back to sleep. I'm just some fucking guy. I'm just some fucking homeless guy. It's up to you. It is. It's up to you. It's up to you. But there are things that must be, there are things that ought to be, and there are things that ought not to be. And first and foremost, the shit with my children needs to be rectified. And we can move on to the other shit. But we've got 7 years. So, thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Have a good day. What is it, Wednesday? 7 a.m.? Wow. Okay, bye. God loves you.